Hello, YouTube. So let's do a review and thoughts video today on my Kirby G6, my latest vacuum. This has been a real pleasure to use the first week I've had it. I'm just going to say that. It's been a very good Kirby to have. Let's start with the history of this cleaner in my life. This Kirby was actually the Kirby vacuum cleaner in general that started it all for me. My interest in vacuum cleaners started with the G6. My dad owned a G6 from 1999, and so when I was born, this was the Kirby he had. And he had one with this exact symbol. In fact, that's why I wanted a G6 with that exact symbol, because it just looks real nice on there. The symbol that my dad had, because that's what I wanted. This G6 was rebuilt by a Kirby repair guy who rebuilds them and sells the ones in good shape. And I just want to say, it's been a real pleasure owning this guy so far. Some stuff about it is it has 128 CFM at the nozzle, and at the hose end I think it has 101, slightly more than my G5, and that's probably due to its upgraded mini emptor and fill tube. This guy goes really well next to my G5. It looks real good next to my G5. Probably because these two look very similar to each other. What else did I have to say? In fact, the zip brush from this G6 is actually the zip brush from my dad's G6 that far back. So this zip brush has got some age on it. What else? So this guy has around the cleaning power in my Diamond Edition. The only other difference between my dad's G6 and this is that it has the stiff oblique brush roll in there instead of the chevron brush roll. But to tell you the truth, I think I'd rather have a stiff oblique brush roll in there anyway, because all my other G series Kirbys have a stiff oblique brush roll in it. The only Kirby I don't have that doesn't have the stiff oblique brush roll in it is my Kirby Classic 3, which obviously has a chevron brush roll in it, or something like that. It's black and it's a chevron type. What else could I go over about this guy? I think the improvements on this G6 was probably just the mini emptor and fill tube, because the G5 started the indicator light on the right in 1998. I think they started selling G5s with the indicator light. It just so happens to be that the G5 I've come across does not have the indicator light. I think my G5 is a rare. But back to the point. This G6 is actually from a 2000. It's not from 1999. As I said, I had the handle changed to that symbol because this G6 just represents so much memories for me that I wanted to make sure the G6 I got had that exact symbol on it, and I'm glad it does. The vacuum center guy was like, it's just a handle. Let's go ahead and swap the handles. And he was actually nice enough to buff it for me too. He actually buffed that handle in the aluminum areas. Even after I offered to hand polish it at home, he was like, "Oh, I'll just buff it real quick for you." And so that was nice of him to do that. So I appreciate him for that. This G6 is yeah, it's the only parts I need for this is another rug plate. This G6 right now is actually using the rug plate off my G5. And that's due to the fact that this guy, I don't know if it had a rug plate on it to begin with or if it fell off at the vacuum center shop. But it didn't have a rug plate when I came home with it. And then the outer bag on it, the outer bag has a bunch of scratches on it, and especially if you look at it from the back. In fact, I'll show you. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but it has a lot of scratches on it, on the bag. So this one is just to get me by, before the guy can send me a new G6 bag. Do I have anything else to go over on this guy? Probably for the most part, no. So yeah, I'm glad I got the attachments because I used to like hoses a lot, like garden hoses I would even like. Obviously the Kirby G6's hose, so getting the hose and the attachments with this kind of brings back memories for me. So this G6 is the very first vacuum I've ever used in life, and I'm glad I got one now. I definitely like the G6 more than the Ultimate G. I'll say that. And that's mainly due to the color scheme. I could work with an Ultimate G. You know, I would take the Ultimate G over anything like a Dyson, a Shark, or anything like that, or a Cars. In fact, if a person wanted to give me an Ultimate G, I would have no problem accepting it because, you know, I like the Ultimate G. It's just not as much as this one. This one kind of, I would prefer the black on this one. And this one obviously goes far back in the day with me. Like when I used to live in an apartment, and my dad's G6 was in this house for a little while, but then when it got to the point my dad just got the Centuria 1 I have now. In fact, I'll do a thoughts video on my Centuria 1 review and thoughts to cover up that story. But anyway, so my personal thoughts are, it was $500, but I'll tell you one thing. This was actually $5.99 when I was on the Spotlight, but the guy offered it to me for $500, and I was like, why not? And so far, it's been worth every single penny for me because, you know, I had to do zero work on this guy when I got it. This guy was in that state where I could just take it and use. And this guy is in really good shape. I mean, you guys saw it right when I got home with it. It pulled 128 CFM on my airflow box. So this guy is in much better condition than most other G6s are. Most of G6s I've come across at the vacuum center shop pull like around 120 CFM, where this guy got like 128. So, and I'm very certain that when winter time starts coming around and the humidity drops, it's mainly, I think, how humid it is can mess with your airflow results a little bit. I don't know why. I just feel like it does because I get higher airflow results during the winter. But anyways, or maybe it's just the fact that I'm measuring them up here, because I know up here in the kitchen I get better results. So this G6 has been, will continue to be very, stick around. I know I've been using it a lot lately, and it's been featured on my channel a lot lately, and that's primarily due to the fact that this is the vacuum I've been using around here ever since I got it. I actually haven't pulled out my G5 or Kirby's. I've touched my sanitairs. I've used my sanitairs in the basement a couple times, but this guy has been primarily the vacuum I've been using. It's been my daily driver lately. But I'm very certain that at some point I'll start pulling out other vacuums again. And if you guys want to see another vacuum just comment the vacuum down in the description below, and it'll be featured in my next video out of the vacuums in my collection. So anyways, so this is my review and thoughts on the G6, and thank you for watching.